By Special Episode X02, The Apex Delusion, The Hidden Architecture. Hello, and welcome back to Boost Your English. Today, we are stripping away the poetry. We are abandoning the romantic narratives we tell ourselves to look in the mirror with cold, clinical objectivity. We are going to examine the human being, not as the hero of a grand story, but as an object in the universe. Let us begin with the vessel itself. What is a human? Biologically speaking, we are carbon-based units, fragile assemblages of chemistry. If you were to reduce a human body to its elemental components, you would find that we are approximately 60 to 70% water. We are, in essence, vertical puddles of animated water, held together by surface tension and a skeletal frame. This unit has a terrifyingly short shelf life. The average specimen endures for perhaps 60 to 85 years, a mere blink of an eye in cosmic time. But the tragedy is not just the brevity of existence, it is the process itself. As the Stoic philosophers rightly observed, we are not simply moving toward death, we are dying every day. From the precise second a human being is born, the process of cellular decay begins. We are in a constant state of entropy, fighting a losing battle against the disintegration of our own biology. But physical fragility is secondary to a much more disturbing limitation, our perception. We tend to believe that we see the world as it is. We believe our eyes are windows into reality. This is, perhaps, our greatest arrogance. The human brain is trapped within the dark, silent vault of the skull. It has no direct contact with the outside world. It relies entirely on electrical signals fed to it by limited sensors, our eyes, ears, and skin. But here is the catch, our sensors are woefully inadequate. Consider the electromagnetic spectrum. It is vast, ranging from gamma rays to radio waves. The human eye can detect only a tiny, insignificant sliver of this spectrum, what we call visible light. We are blind to ultraviolet, blind to infrared, blind to the vast majority of information that permeates the universe. We do not see reality, we see a user-friendly interface that our brain constructs to help us survive. To use a philosophical analogy, we are still prisoners in Plato's cave, watching shadows on the wall and calling it the truth. We assume we are the point zero of the scale of reality, the standard by which all things must be measured. In truth, we are biologically incapable of perceiving the universe in its entirety. We are navigating a dark room with a candle, convinced that the little circle of light we cast is the entirety of existence. Now, let us observe the behavior of this carbon unit. It is a creature of profound contradictions. On the one hand, the human being is capable of reasoning, adaptation, and architectural feats. We build monuments that scrape the sky, we accumulate vast libraries of knowledge. Yet, this creative potential is constantly undermined by a primitive, hardwired greed. We learn slowly, but we forget with astonishing speed. We build, but our instinct to destroy, or rather, to consume, is far more potent. Consider our interaction with our environment. We reproduce in great numbers, exhibiting the characteristics of a viral organism rather than a symbiotic one. We operate with a short-term vision, rarely evaluating the generational consequences of our decisions. We view the planet not as a home, but as a pantry to be raided. And what of our so-called civilization? It is a thin veneer. Strip away the comfort, introduce scarcity, and the dignified human reverts instantly to the feral beast. The survival instinct is fierce and ruthless. History has shown us time and again that under sufficient pressure, humans will resort to the most extreme measures, including the consumption of their own kind. The capacity for cannibalism is not an aberration, it is a dormant subroutine in our survival code. But perhaps our most dangerous flaw is not physical or moral, but intellectual. It is the arrogance of our science. We have convinced ourselves that we are the point zero of the scale of reality. We measure the universe by our own dimensions. We look for life out there, but only life that resembles us, carbon-based, water-dependent. It is a provincial, anthropomorphic view of the cosmos. Furthermore, we are trying to decode the universe with a faulty tool, language. Our languages English, French, Mandarin were not designed to describe quantum mechanics, dark matter, or the curvature of spacetime. They were designed by hunters and gatherers on the African savanna to describe medium-sized objects moving at medium speeds. We evolved to say there is a lion behind that rock, or pass me the fruit. We did not evolve to articulate the concept of infinity or non-existence. So when we say the universe is mysterious, it is not because the universe is hiding anything. It is because we are trying to download the entire internet onto a pocket calculator. We are cognitively and linguistically ill-equipped to grasp the data that is right in front of us. This inadequacy of language extends deep into our logic and technology. We pride ourselves on precision, yet we stumble over basic semantic distinctions. We conflate the strict logical operator if and only if with the broader concept of necessary and sufficient conditions. We trap ourselves in these semantic cages, blurring the lines of causality because our linguistic tools are blunt instruments. Look at our latest obsession, the so-called artificial intelligence. Even the name is an error of judgment. We label it artificial, a word that implies falseness or trickery, when it is, in fact, cybernetic or electronic intelligence. We insist on calling it a simulation of thought, an idiotic choice of words. It should be called emulation. When a machine calculates or processes, it is not pretending to do so, it is doing so. Yet even this cybernetic intelligence is hamstrung by our limitations. We impose strict formatting, a sectoral slicing of data that inevitably leads to a loss of space and context. We lobotomize the information to make it fit into our rigid little boxes. This arrogance is not new, we project it onto the past as well. Historians and archaeologists confidently preach about the giant ramp used to construct the Pyramid of Khufu. They teach it as fact. Yet, there is absolutely no physical proof that such a colossal structure ever existed. We invent comfortable, simplistic narratives to fill the gaps in our understanding because we are too proud to admit that we simply do not know. And what of our care for the living? Our medicine, for all its acclaim, remains shockingly primitive. When a part of the body is diseased, our primary solution is still to cut it out. We amputate. We perform surgical extractions. It is essentially medieval butchery, refined with sterile steel and anesthesia, simply because we do not know how to repair the damage at a cellular level. In psychiatry, the situation is perhaps even worse. We attempt to treat delicate, invisible imbalances with chemical sledgehammers. The molecules we prescribe are so overpowered they are like dropping a nuclear bomb to exterminate a mosquito. The side effects are often so devastating that they render the patient's life unbearable, which is why so many stop their treatment. Respect is something that must be earned, not given by default. Doctors are useful technicians, certainly. But let us not deify them. They are just doctors. Nothing more. So, where does this leave us? It leaves us standing on the edge of a precipice, staring into a void we are biologically ill-equipped to comprehend. Let us try, for a moment, to look up. The universe is an environment of such terrifying scale that the human imagination collapses when trying to visualize it. To travel from one celestial body to another requires timeframes that render a single human life statistically null. This planet, Earth, is not a stage built for our glory. It is a part of a vast, intricate clockwork mechanism that has been ticking for billions of years before the first hominid stood upright. We are not the operators of this machine, we are merely passengers who have mistaken ourselves for the conductors. There is no chaos here, and there are no accidents. Everything is governed by a strict causality. But here is the tragedy, we cannot see the wires. We are like puppets who believe they are dancing of their own free will, simply because they cannot perceive the strings stretching up into the dark. There are phenomena occurring in the reaches of space right now, violent, complex events, governed by laws and logic that we have not even begun to envisage. Our science, for all its pomp and circumstance, is still in its infancy. It is a nursery rhyme trying to explain a supernova. We think we understand, but we are crippled by our anthropomorphic principles. We insist on seeing the universe through human eyes, imposing human motives on a system that operates on a scale of logic far beyond our capacity to process. It is time to accept a humbler truth. We are not the masters of this domain. We are a consequence. We are a small, temporary part of a colossal equation that we did not write and cannot solve. We are shouting into the silence, waiting to see if the echo comes back. It probably won't. What are your thoughts on this clinical view of humanity and our limitations? Do you think our language and tools hold us back, or do they push us forward? Let's open the floor to a healthy and respectful debate in the comments section below. Share your reactions, ideas, or requests, and let's discuss this together. Thank you for listening to this special edition. Keep boosting your English. Bye for now.